If you've used a generative AI tool recently, the compute power behind it likely originated in a server rack like this. SMCI became the primary hardware provider for the world's largest data center operators. These server racks derive their multi-million-dollar price tags from the high-density Nvidia GPUs packed inside them, specifically the A100 and H100 units. To prevent foreign adversaries from advancing their military AI capabilities, the United States government placed these specific chips under a strict export embargo, explicitly banning their sale and shipment to China. This U.S. export blockade created a physical barrier for Chinese buyers possessing capital but lacking a legal path to high-end compute. By routing hardware through intermediaries in Thailand, smugglers bridged that gap, creating a massive shadow economy. When a government creates an absolute barrier to a high-demand resource, corporate actors will engineer a bypass to capture the remaining market value. That bypass operated in secret until March 19, 2026, when the Department of Justice unsealed indictments against high-level SMCI insiders. The DOJ detailed a highly orchestrated smuggling ring operating from within the company that generated $2.5 billion in illegal sales between 2024 and 2025. While marketed as the architect of the AI future, the indictment alleges they utilized physical shell games to move hardware past federal inspectors. The March 2026 raid concluded a multi-year trajectory of corporate fraud that had escaped auditor oversight since 2024. This wasn't the company's first encounter with federal regulators. In 2018, co-founder Wally Liao stepped down following an SEC accounting scandal that resulted in a $17.5 million fine. Despite that history, Liao returned to the company in 2021 and was promoted back to the board by 2023. This gave him the executive clearance necessary to oversee the logistics of the upcoming smuggling operation. In August 2024, short seller Endenburg Research published a report alleging that SMCI was openly violating export bans to both Russia and China. Confidence in the company's reporting collapsed in October 2024 when Ernst Young resigned as the company's auditor. EY stated they could no longer rely on the representations made by SMCI's management. This is the NASDAQ building in Times Square, where SMCI fought to keep its listing. After an internal review, the company claimed they found, quote, no evidence of fraud, and filed their delayed reports in February 2025. The market accepted these assurances, allowing AI-driven stock gains to overshadow the warnings of systematic internal failure. Behind the scenes, the operation relied on three key figures: Wally Liao in California, Taiwan-based sales manager Stephen Chang, and logistics broker Willie Sun. Their goal was to move sensitive technology to Chinese buyers without triggering the automated red flags used by U.S. Customs. They established a transshipment hub in Thailand, using a front company to receive shipments of Nvidia-packed servers before rerouting them to their final destination. By manipulating shipping manifests, the conspirators made the hardware appear to be standard commercial infrastructure for the Southeast Asian market. This $2.5 billion operation demonstrates how easily a sophisticated global supply chain can be subverted when local intermediaries are incentivized to hide the truth. The scheme faced a critical test when federal export inspectors and SMCI's own compliance teams demanded a physical, on-site audit of the Thai warehouse. Evidence from the DOJ's indictment shows the conspirators panicked, realizing their shadow pipeline was weeks away from being physically exposed by inspectors. To hide the missing hardware, they staged thousands of non-working dummy servers, empty metal boxes, to fill the warehouse floor before the auditors arrived. While U.S. auditors spent days meticulously counting and inspecting empty metal chassis in Southeast Asia, a separate logistics crew was in a different facility, repackaging the real Nvidia-packed servers for immediate shipment into China. This low-tech deception allowed SMCI insiders to move the most advanced technology in existence right under the noses of federal inspectors. The deception ended with the unsealing of the DOJ indictments in March 2026. The revelation of the $2.5 billion smuggling ring immediately destroyed the company's credibility. This chart tracks the sudden destruction of investor confidence. On the day the indictment was unsealed, SMCI stock plummeted 33% in a single session, erasing more than $6 billion in market value. CEO Charles Liang now faces a wave of securities fraud class action lawsuits. plaintiffs allege he oversaw a company that lacked even basic compliance guardrails, allowing the smuggling ring to flourish. The financial penalties and reputational damage from the bust have now significantly outweighed the revenue generated by the illegal sales. Major data center clients began an immediate exodus, canceling contracts with SMCI to avoid being associated with an ongoing Department of Justice criminal case. Legacy competitors like Dell and HPE, who had recently updated their AI infrastructure platforms, moved quickly to capture SMCI's fleeing market share. SMCI held a dominant, legitimate position in the AI hardware market, yet sacrificed that stability for the high-risk margins of a black market operation. As the global competition for compute power intensifies, the incentives for this type of corporate shadow running are only increasing. The question remains, how many other dummy servers are sitting in warehouses today, masking the next multi-billion-dollar tech pipeline?